Welcome to the Social University podcast. We are so glad you're joining us today because we want to help business owners, entrepreneurs, and people just like you who want to build their business online. Listen, if we can do it, you can do it. So let's go.
Good morning. I am Karen Taradas with Social U, and today is What's Up Wednesday, where we come to you live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Central to talk about social media and marketing tips, tricks, and trends. Today is a little different from what we normally do. Today is going to be live Q&A where I answer any questions you want to ask me. It's a complete and total ask me anything situation. So you guys, I welcome your questions from any of the platforms. Love to hear more about what you guys want to know. If you're one of our regular viewers, you know we do things based on a theme. All month long for May, we've been talking about mental health. So there are mental health resources that are available to everyone. We have online resources and local resources and all of those things if you want to look back at the past couple of videos. And of course, we have links to those resources available in our blog. Let's see, how did you know it was time to hire someone when you were doing it alone? That is a great question. For all of you guys who might be brand new entrepreneurs or people who are just getting started, it is, there I am. It is difficult to know that. And I would say most entrepreneurs, me included, kind of went kicking and screaming into hiring new people. It was something that I wasn't necessarily mentally ready for. The thought of having to support payroll for another person really deeply freaked me out. But you get to a point where you're so busy, it doesn't make sense to not have help. So the breaking point for me, aside from my own sanity and being busy all the time and having something going on all the time where I knew I needed help. The breaking point for me was when I realized if I paid someone to do this, it meant I would free up time for me to do this other thing. And since I'm the one who normally, at the time, since I'm the one who did all of our sales and proposals, it meant it gave me more time to focus on the sales and growing the business instead of actually doing stuff that's in the business. And one of the best things I've ever done was have a Becky. I highly recommend a Becky for those of you guys who may not have one. She is all the time behind the scenes, getting stuff done, taking care of stuff kind of in the shadows. Highly, highly recommend. Amazing. But yeah, I think a lot of entrepreneurs are hesitant to, especially when you're just getting started and it's just you. I think they're hesitant to hire people. I know I was because of the whole payroll concept. It just seems so incredibly scary to me to have to be responsible for everybody else. 100%. Everybody needs a Becky. I could not agree with that more. 100%. Jaden, you're absolutely correct. So let's see, what else do we have? What are some common mistakes brands make on social media and how can we avoid them? One of the most common mistakes I see on the regular is trying to be all things to all people. It is not a one size fits all situation. You have to focus on what's going to generate you the best ROI. Now there are 7 to let's say 10-ish main platforms for social media. It takes a team of people on our side, and we do this all the time, for us to have a presence on every single platform. I think it can be overwhelming. So instead of trying to do all that, pick the 1 or 2 platforms that really will move your brand forward and focus on those and get really good at those. And then I would say this is one of the second most common mistakes is consistency. You have to be consistent, and you'll have, especially solopreneurs, they'll post a bunch for a little while and then they get distracted or busy and they stop. And it makes it look basically like you've abandoned your own presence. But there are several, like I have a top 10 hit list of most common mistakes that small businesses, or basically any size business, makes, because everybody does it. But those to me are the two where you're trying to be everything, or you're trying to use the same content on every platform. It is just seriously not a one size fits all situation. You absolutely have to have a plan for each platform, and you have to have a really firm grasp on your own audience, because that's a huge time waster. And we still, to this day, I still get people who, when you ask them, who's your target? They'll say, oh, everybody. No, that is not correct. Well, everybody can buy this. Well, that doesn't mean everybody's going to. You have to focus on your most likely target so that you can generate revenue. I mean, that's just how it works. So, I'd say those are the biggest mistakes. But yeah, there are more. How do I know who my target audience is? That's a great question. If you're brand new and you are just getting started, you have an understanding of who you're going to target. Whether you might be focusing on single moms who are doing yoga. I mean, and that's very specific, but the more specific the target, the more likely you are to hit it. It's like anything else. When you're playing darts, you have to aim at a specific location to hit anything. That's how it works with your marketing. You have to understand who your audience is. If you're unclear about who that is, one of the best things you can do is look back at your own analytics. There will be a trend. You will start to notice, I tend to gravitate women. I'm more women in their 40s to 55 area who are already in corporate America. That seems to be my best audience. It will start to reveal itself. As long as you go back and look and you check your own analytics, your ideal audience will actually reveal itself. And as the business owner, who you enjoy working with the most, who is the best fit for you, who is going to be, and again, when it's a good fit for you and a good fit for them, it benefits both of you guys greatly. So looking at your own analytics and history and then focusing on what but we've come across businesses who have, a concept of who their audience is, and then they don't find out until later. Another way that you can do it is to hire someone, and we work with a great resource, hire someone to do some research for you to help focus your marketing messaging, because sometimes you don't know. And sometimes, especially when you're getting started, you think it's one thing and it's something else. So that's, let's see, Lisa, what do you, thank you for that. I am deeply ignoring the fact that I'm older today. How about that? That's where we are. We're in the state of denial. More personal, if you could go back 10 years, what would you do differently? And what would you have started doing earlier? If I could go back 10 years, I'll tell you right now, I would have started building my email list the second my eyes opened every single morning, because your power's in your list. And these creators, these entrepreneurs that have thousands of people on their list, make incredible revenue. So if I had it to do all over again, I would not have waited as long to hire, because it was a game changer for me. Our revenue doubled every time I hired a new person. I would not have waited as long to hire. And again, it comes down to my own insecurity. I was so panicked about payroll, but it's totally worth the investment. And I would have focused on my email list from the very beginning. I love social media. It's a great tool, but without your email list, you don't own the lead. It's just rented. So yeah, email 100% would be, that's my biggest regret, is that I didn't start earlier on my email list. It's a great question, Michaela. Let's see. Is it important to post at certain times of day? Yeah. If you're posting at 6 a.m., people may not be seeing that. The whole world may not be up at 6 a.m. Now, if you are targeting CEOs and C-suite folks and you're on LinkedIn, you might find out that 7 a.m. is the sweet spot, because a lot of those folks, they're online before people get to work. And that may be a great fit for you. If you're a realtor, you might be posting in the afternoon when it's carpool lane time. So yes, the time matters. It does help your visibility. And there's such a short shelf life for every single platform. You need to strike while the iron's hot. You need to hit it while people are on there. And if you don't know when your best times are to post, check your analytics and test internally. Like you can test for 2 weeks at 9 a.m. and 2 weeks at 3 p.m. to kind of figure out what's going to work best for you. But if you do research on this topic, every expert across the board is going to tell you something different on time. and it'll be generic, and you might need something that's more industry specific. So I will tell you, please, for the love of Pete and all the Tully, check it yourself. Do what works for you. Thanks, Laura. That was a good question. Let's see. What is the best way to grow your email list? Oh, give stuff away. One of the best things you can do to grow your email list is to have an awesome lead generator where people sign up to get whatever your offer is so that you can grow your list. And how do you do that? Well, you tell people about it. When you're live, you tell people, hey, we have an awesome content calendar on our website. If you go to Your Social you can see it over my shoulder in the background. If you go to our website, a pop-up will appear. It will ask you to submit your email, and you get this cool free download. I love our content calendar. It's one of my favorite things we offer. I do tons of freebies. Anytime I'm speaking to any group, we always offer a specific free thing based on the topic for that group. But giving stuff away is one of the best ways to grow your email list. And you want to consistently remind people that you have an email list. Now, once you have the list, you do have to do stuff with it. It doesn't do you any good to have it if you're not going to send emails out to people. I'm just going to throw that out there. But yeah, and contests, giveaways, and then ask people to sign up. I think that's one of the most effective ways. I think, and I'm the worst about this as a business owner. I forget to ask sometimes. I get so busy on the giving away part, I forget to ask for the sale for us. We have a huge announcement that's coming out in the next 6 weeks that I am going to be so much better about announcing and letting people know about. That's my commitment. How do you ensure your content is relevant and resonates with your audience? I would say research. One of the best things you can do is research your content and see what your audience wants to hear. And if you're unsure about how to do that, ChatGPT is a great resource. Gemini, which is Google's version of ChatGPT, and Answer the Public are 3 awesome resources that tell you what people are Googling in your industry. So for example, if you're a wedding photographer, you could go type in on Answer the Public, which is free, wedding photography, and it will tell you all of the different questions that people are asking about that specific topic so that you can then turn around and post what people are asking about the most. And if you do it correctly, if you use some great prompts for ChatGPT and you ask it, like you go to Answer the Public and you get your information, and one of the questions is how do you figure out your timeline for the day of the event? Let's just say that's the question. Then you take that question and you take it to ChatGPT or you take it to Gemini and you break it down further. How do I build the best timeline? What are the top 10 things I need to know about creating my timeline? You ask it in a prompt so that it gives you additional content to then share with your audience. But again, one of the best things you can do is ask, what does your audience want to know about? What are they interested in? Research is always great, but your audience will tell you, and most people are very eager to give their opinion. So as long as you're asking them kind of what they want to know, but if you're just getting started, I would say ChatGPT is awesome and Answer the Public is awesome. They are just excellent resources for content. Let's see. What's the best way to handle negative comments on social media? That is a great question, and we get that a lot. When we get trolls, unless it's profane, demeaning, or illegal, immoral, we leave them alone, especially on YouTube. We'll just respond with a troll emoji and keep right on going. If you're getting a negative comment or a negative review, the first thing you're going to do, don't delete it. If you delete it, you're making it personal for the person who's making the comment. And it can go from a simple business interaction to a vendetta. So do not delete the comment. If it is completely insane, you don't have to address it. You can ignore it or hide it. You don't ever want to argue with crazy. It's going to make you look crazy in the process. If it is a valid complaint or negative comment, you want to address it. Thank the person for bringing it to your attention. Ask them what they would like, because 9 times out of 10, what they are asking for is less than what you're prepared to give. It's crazy how that works out. Thank them for the information, ask them how you can make it better, and then do it. But you also want to take that off of the public view as quickly as possible. So if, let's say you got a negative complaint, your retail location and one of your folks closed up early, and it's valid, they really did it, then you're going to say, my apologies, I'm sorry you experienced that. Please DM me so that we can discuss this further and I can make it right. As long as the public sees that you're addressing it in a courteous and timely fashion, that's all they need. Now, if you didn't do it, that changes the response. But really and truly, if it's negative and it's real, you do need to address it. Now, sometimes you're going to get into, and especially in these what's happening, because every single town has a what's happening in Hoover, what's happening in Vestavia, and people will just, you talk about keyboard warriors. Oh my gosh, they will just give you their 2 cents, their 5 cents, their 6. They are all about trashing. Sometimes some of them are about trashing the retail business. As the business owner, if people are talking, if they're engaging back and forth and it's a lot and it's kind of crazy, staying out of that can be your very best bet. You don't want to stoke the fire. And the more comments, it drives it to the top of your page, and you don't want that either. The best thing you can do is to address it as it comes. Don't delete it and then bury it with positive comments. Truly. But if those what's happening groups, don't fight with those people. Come on, you're making their jobs easier. What's the secret to closing the deal? That's as long as I've been in sales, and that's is a year longer today than it was yesterday. It's not about closing the deal. It's about asking the person what they need and providing that service for them. I am not a high pressure salesperson. I've never been a high pressure salesperson. Even when I was working in retail, you very specifically ask, what do you need and how can I provide it? Now, I'm not always the best answer. It's not always our company or our services that are the best answer, but I will go out of my way to find the answer for you and connect you to that resource. That's how we have the relationship we do with SiteMason, WP SiteMason, because we don't do website creation, but he does. He's a great resource. I'm happy to connect you to him. Great company. We don't do hosting. He does that. I'm happy to connect you. Again, you cannot be all things to all people, and you have to recognize that first and foremost, but it's not about closing the sale. It's about helping the person. And even in those situations where I wasn't the answer or my services weren't the answer, when you're genuine and you really want to help the person, it will always come back to you. It always comes back to you. It may take a year. It may take longer than a year, but they'll send you a referral and talk to people about how great you were to work with when you didn't profit from it, so that when people come to you, it's a really good fit. So just, help when you can, where you can. What's your favorite part about running a digital marketing company? It's different every day. I like the fact that we don't have to do the same thing all the time. You can do it from anywhere. And we have a pretty remarkable team that makes this job fun for me. And we have some really great customers too that also make this job fun. But I like the fact that you can do different things all the time, because we are an agency. We offer marketing for multiple different businesses, and we've worked with, you name it, over the years. We've worked with everything from, pet salon to a large shopping mall to a national sports equipment company, all of the things, because I've been doing this now for 15 years. So I like the fact that it's different all the time. I think I would get bored if it was one thing all the time, always, if that makes sense. And it also gives me the ability to change and pivot as needed. You guys remember the panini that we had a couple of years ago, and everybody suddenly had to work from home and you couldn't go out in public. You had to pivot. And as a digital marketing company, I think we had kind of a leg up. We had a easier transition than most because we were already doing things remotely. But it makes it easy to change. It makes it easier to be flexible, and it makes it fun to do different stuff all the time. You guys, these have been some really, really great questions. Even Lisa with the birthday question. That was funny. I'm happy to answer anything you have. You are not limited to this Q&A. Anytime you leave a comment or direct message me or my team, we're going to answer it pretty quickly. Do you like remote work? 100%. You shouldn't be limited geographically. If you're a good fit for someone in Michigan and you live in California, do your thing. I love remote. I love that my team's remote. And as the business owner, it's your responsibility to make sure that they have that teamwork mentality. You're supposed to bring that framework, not the employee. That's crazy. I have big feelings on forcing people to go back into the office after they've been remote for so long. If they're doing a great job remotely, let them be remote. Leave them alone. And if you feel like fostering that sense of team and fostering that sense of company, you have to be in the same building, I will take you to task on that. I think my team is very connected. Nobody's in the same state. So that's on you. It's the owner to make sure that your team's connected to each other. So if they feel disconnected, that's your fault. It's not their fault. So I am a big fan of remote work. I think it's awesome. I think everybody should have the ability to do that if it works best for them, especially as a single parent. I faced so many challenges when my child was younger about trying to be at the office and trying to be at home. And if you can do it all from one location, do it. Do what works for you. As long as you're productive and you're working, why not? Who cares if there's laundry running in the background? Who cares? Who cares if you take off Tuesday afternoon to go to the dentist and you would rather work Saturday afternoon for an hour to make that up? It doesn't matter. If it works for you, it works. It is what it is. And you've heard that happy wife, happy life, happy team makes the dream. If your team is happy, your company functions well. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of remote work. I'm for it, Jaden. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate this. If you are needing any assistance with social media or digital marketing, we are here for you. We actually have a membership program, Social University, where we answer questions. We have downloads every week. We offer Canva videos weekly, but questions, you can ask any question you want to ask and somebody will respond to you within 24 hours and answer your question. It won't always be me, but I'm not always the best fit either. So we want to put you with the person that's the best fit for the question. And seriously, just to have a lot of talent on this team. So yeah. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions, if there's anything you want to know, feel free to leave a comment. We will get right back to you. You can send a DM. We're super accessible. If you go to the website, you can schedule a Calendly call, and that discovery time there's no charge, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Just let me know what it is you want to know, and we will be announcing our content topics for June. They're going to be very specific. Specifically related to our big announcement that is also coming in June. So you guys, I'm looking forward to that. I hope you are too. And until next week, I am Karen Taradas with Social U, and I'm here to help. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for the Social University podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Stay Social U. That's the letter U. And we will talk to you next week. Remember, you've got this.